Bulldog, stand up. Yes. Yes. Georgia East. Give me a big hug. Yes.
Ooh,
welcome
man.
in, everybody. Happy Friday, one and all. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. He's D Gun. He's B Brooks.
What's up?
I am
What's the
RL.
deal?
What's up, people? How we doing? What's up, Gigi, Daz, Jeremy, Dre, Timoleon, Andres, Jason, Fitness Rebel, Fandom Media. Who did I miss? Daz. What's up, folks? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Hope you're doing great out there. It was a wild, wild night for sure. And I know everybody was locked in. What's up, Brett? I know everybody was locked in during all the craziness as we sat there and going through it. Guys, I want to start with you, Barrett. I'll start with you because Derek and I were side by side last night. What's up, Coach Marcus? What's up, Marquise? What's up, Eagles Realist? What's up, Duck? What's up, Leo? We were sitting there next to each other watching this thing unfold. I'm curious, just your thoughts when you have had some time to sort of marinate in it a little bit, soak on it, have a night's sleep, depending on how much sleep you had. Loose interpretation of that word for a couple of us. But what are your impressions, B, as we sit here now?
I got to give it to Howie. He's that dude. And it just so happened that the cards just fell just right. Once Arizona didn't pick up Carter, I just knew we were picking him up then. Because I knew the Raiders weren't going to get it because of the driving aspects, the racing aspect of it. So I knew they took him off the board. Mm-hmm. So it kind of fell into our lap, man. Bro, I'm ecstatic, man. We got him for a fourth rounder.
Yes, that's all it took. And that was the craziest thing, Gunner. So we're sitting there, right? It's me, you, and Mark Farzetta and Seth Joyner last night on our JAKIB Draft special. And, so when you're doing shows like that, it's a balance between, Eagles certainly are driving everything, what the Eagles need, but you're also going through scenarios here of what's unfolding in front of you. Now, the part that wasn't a big surprise is there was a quarterback run early. There always is. We know that, right? So you go Bryce Young, Stroud. We'll get to what the Texans did, which I thought they had a great night, by the way, trading.
Unbelievable.
They get Will Anderson. They go Stroud, Will Anderson, 2-3. I think that's a great job by Houston, which we'll get to. So then you have Anthony Richardson goes 4. Now's where it starts to get interesting, right? At 5. You're saying to yourself, Seattle, Legion of Boom. Pete Carroll's a defensive guy. They want to rebuild that thing. They did pretty well offensively, but they still have some holes defensively. And you're saying that's a trouble spot. And we're, I don't know if you were doing this, Barrett, but Derek and I and Seth and Mark, we're saying, all right, do you trade up? Is this where Howie, kind of really gets aggressive here? Do you do that? And Gunner, to his credit all night with his incredible sources, has a feel for kind of where things are going. But
and what did I tell you? I said the priority list was, here's what my last was told the priority list was: Jalen Carter,
right,
Paris Johnson, and a distant third was Bijan. There was no way ever. That was one of the best smoke screens of the draft. There was no way ever they were taking Bijan that high. If he had slipped to 30, they would have taken a flyer on him, but not at 10.
Yes, no question.
There's no way they were going to trade up for him. There's no way that he was going to be in the top 15 players. I personally thought that Bijan would go in the top 10. He ended up going in the top 10. I said there's a big possibility he would go to Atlanta, and he ended up going to Atlanta.
Yep.
I didn't really understand how Houston got an A+ grade in the draft.
Oh, my goodness.
An A+ grade, man. You guys are right, man. A+ grade in the draft.
Yeah.
They went and got the two best. Well, they went and got 2 of the 2 best players
on both sides.
We got the best player in the draft.
Yeah. So, all right, we're there at 5. That's a trouble spot. We find out it's Devin Witherspoon, the corner from Illinois. Okay.
And Barry, what did I tell you? We have been debating Gonzalez and Witherspoon forever, and I kept saying I like Witherspoon better than I like Gonzalez for various reasons.
You're right, man.
Yeah.
I kept saying there's something about this kid's moxie. He didn't back off a bit, the way in hand-to-hand combat. Everybody kept putting Gonzalez at the top of this heap. And I said, I like Witherspoon much better. And lo and behold, Gonzalez not even a second DB taken.
No, and I heard rumors about him being soft.
Oh.
So, Witherspoon?
No, Gonzalez.
Oh, because Witherspoon's anything but soft.
Right, man. He's almost too aggressive. That's why he's one of the Philly guys.
Okay.
They were saying that Gonzalez was soft. And that's why he dropped so much in the draft. I mean, and to be honest with you, there wasn't a lot of tape on him that I was trying to get. I didn't see a lot of tape on him, but what I did see him, he's fluid, big guy, athletic, can cover. But I didn't see him come up hit anybody either. You saw Witherspoon coming up and rocking people.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't care. He wasn't playing around.
So then we get to 6. And remember, they traded with the Cardinals, the Texans did. So Arizona's on the clock at 6. This is one you didn't really sweat too much. You felt like they were going to do something along the offensive lines for Kyler Murray, you thought, right? So they did. Paris Johnson. All right.
Well, let me tell you about that. Kyler Murray begged and pleaded.
That's right.
Their organization to go get Paris Johnson.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they listened to him.
They did. They you know, hey, look, he's locked in, they're backing their guy. I think it's actually a good move by them. So then you get to 7, and this is another trouble spot. It's the Raiders. The Raiders need a lot of defensive help. If you watched them play last year, they collapsed a lot in games. So that was a sweat because that one they took almost all the time that was allotted. And then we found out it was Tyree Wilson, and that's another, sigh of relief if you're an Eagles fan at that point. So they go Tyree Wilson. The only question with Tyree Wilson is that foot injury. He's a beast, but he had the foot injury. So he goes 7. All right, now you're at 8. Atlanta could have gone a lot of different ways. They were very aggressive in the offseason, making defensive moves, free agents, et cetera, okay? But it didn't mean they weren't going to keep that theme going. They took Bijan. That's where Bijan went. All right, so that there's 2 things that happened there. One, Eagles fans, who were all Bijan'd up were probably crestfallen, but whatever. But nonetheless, Jalen Carter's still there. So here we are at 9, and you're saying, all right, does Detroit team him up with Aiden Hutchinson? And you think to yourself, man, that would be nasty.
Really nasty.
Defensive line. Yeah, like look out. And then time's going on. And again, this is where I give Gunner props. He's sniffing things out. He's talking to people, etc. And he's saying, something may be going down here. Something may be happening. And lo and behold, here comes the trade. The Eagles flip up to 9 from 10. And you're like, wow, I wonder what they gave up. And now it turns out they gave up a 4th rounder in 2024 when they have oodles of picks. All right. They have loads of picks.
And that's the big thing that people need to realize. They have 12 picks. There's no way they can draft all 12 players and fit them under the roster. You can't do it. You have too many holdovers from the previous roster, number 1. Number 2, they won't be able to pay all those guys.
Right.
So they've got to get rid of picks in all actuality.
Yeah.
They've got to get rid of them. So right now they have 10 picks, right?
Yes.
They have 10 picks for next year.
Yes.
They traded 2 of them, or one they got by default from Arizona.
Yeah, which we'll get into. Yeah, because that's a little dicey, that thing. It's a little shady what went on there, but we'll get to that. So here we are. So we're sitting here. The Eagles move up, and at that point, you have to think it's Jalen Carter. And lo and behold, it turned out to be Jalen Carter. So they really didn't need to do much. You didn't need to be super aggressive and give up the farm to get up there and get to 5 or get there to 7 or any of those spots. Howie, pretty ballsy, let it play, kind of read the room again, and they end up getting Jalen Carter. So let's dig into Jalen Carter here, guys, because this is some considered him the most talented, and that includes the quarterbacks.
That's not some. Everybody should have said he is the guy in this draft. He was the most talented guy in this draft. He was the most game ready to play in the draft. Period.
Go ahead, B. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I got a lot to say, so you go ahead. Go ahead. Put your
but see, people were saying, well, why did the Eagles have to flip? They didn't have to flip. Well, see, yes, they did, because the way that draft fell, I guarantee you, just like us, we didn't see the draft board falling the way it did. Okay, number 1. Number 2, Chicago could have gone a multitude of different ways. They needed D-line. Even though they spent money on defense, they needed D-line, they needed cornerback, they needed offensive tackle. And the Eagles at that point are thinking, we got to be sure. We're this close to this guy. We got to be sure. So that's why kudos to Howie for making the move. It wasn't a major move. They didn't have to give up a lot to flip the script and move up one spot. But when you have your eyes set on one guy and the team in front of you could go a multitude of ways, you want to make sure they don't take what you need, because that resets your whole board for the first round.
Well, They don't care about 4th rounders either. I mean, look at the amount of fourth rounders they've given away the past couple of years.
Right.
I mean, a fourth rounder for Avery
Quinn, Robert Quinn.
Robert Quinn.
Yeah.
Also Avery from we traded defensive end from / linebacker from Cleveland. What's his name? Jannard Avery.
Jannard Avery.
Yeah, Jannard Avery. We gave him a 4 for him.
Jeez.
You know, so it's not like we like 4. That's why we don't have a fourth rounder this year because of Quinn.
Right.
But we don't know also if another team was like, all right, we'll give you a first rounder and we'll swap first rounders and we'll give you a 6th rounder or a 5th rounder. So that's why they jump so high at 4th round. So, I mean, I applaud how they're doing that. Now, when you get to breaking this kid down, see, I watched a lot of film on him, but I watched it in a way that I was just, admiring his talent technique. Because to me, he didn't have a snowball's chance in hell of being an Eagle. The film that he has, the eye in the sky does not lie. Somebody has power, strength, speed, nasty, a motor. He has all that. Usually you get a little bit of this and a little bit of that and you have a great player. He has this, that, this, and some of that over there to make him a great player. Mm-hmm. I see little things on how he's more sound as a defensive lineman than even Hargrave was in the run game. See, Hargrave, he was good. He loved rushing the pass.
Yeah, he didn't have much interest in the run game.
And that's why we suffered a lot on 1st and 2nd down with the run. He didn't get paid to stop the run. He got paid to rush the passer. Mm-hmm. So this kid can stop the run and pass. Like little things. It's like when we as an offensive lineman double team a 3 technique. When we're double teaming, we're trying to scoop off to the backer. He has that sense of, all right, I see what they're trying to do to me. So he has that innate presence about him that, all right, this guy's trying to get off. Let me stop this other guy from crossing my face and put my ass in the hole and make it so he can't get off on the back. He has to block me and still able to split the double team and get up and make a play.
And let's not forget, the move to get Jalen Carter does not happen without the blessings of the godfather of NFL security, because that's how much respect Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman have for Dom DeSandro. There is nobody better in the league at finding out everything you need to know. There were people, as we watched the various NFL shows, there were people who took Jalen Carter off their list because of the concerns they had because of his off the field, issues. But once Dom green lighted it for the Eagles, that was it. That's all they needed. There's nobody in the league who's better at backdoor checking, player profiles, history. He has contacts with police officials in every city you can imagine. How many teams do you know where a head of security has that kind of clout in terms of being able to bend the owner and the general manager's ear to that degree, where they trust him that much? If Dom says it's good, Howie referenced him in his last press conference about Dom. See, so once Dom green lighted it, boom, it was a slam dunk after that.
Yeah. Look, that's what you have to go on. I mean, look, again, I get Eagles fans who don't like what went down. It was a very serious situation. If you're not familiar with what happened with Jalen Carter, he was arrested on reckless driving and racing charges. 2 people died in the accident. He entered a no contest plea. He got probation. He showed up for his pro day out of shape. Couldn't finish some of the exercises. This was not all that long after all this. So there was a lot going on, with him. I would think he was put through the paces by every team he met with, both in person and online, on virtually. And I agree with you guys. The Eagles vetting process is as strong as any in sports. So that's where the faith comes in. That's where you also hope that you have a good culture with players that are built here. I think it will help him to at least have familiarity with 3 other Georgia players here, guys he actually played with, not guys who went there 5, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. These are guys he played with. So I think all those things are really good. You're talking about a 6'3", 314-pounder who like Barrett said, there's virtually no shortcomings, whether it's the pass game, the run game, and he projects to just get better and better and better. So, from a talent standpoint, there is no question. But in fairness, there were teams that took him off their board. We had heard Atlanta. took him off the board. We had heard other teams were just flat.
Raiders took him off the board.
Were not going to draft him because it wasn't just that incident. There are other question marks about his work ethic, about some other stuff off the field pertaining to him or his circle. So there's a lot of things at play here. But if you look at the Eagles' history, for the most part, they've had a very good, at least you want to go back 10, 12 years, whatever, run here with guys not getting in trouble off the field for the most part.
They've got two guys from a great organization, but let's, put in perspective. The Eagles are a great organization. These guys are blessed to be in this organization now. You'll be hard pressed to find a better close-knit family than the Eagles in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? There's no splits, there's no guys getting, because they'll get you up out of there. They got Carson up out of there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the reason why Carson is gone because of what was communicated from his teammates. You know what I'm saying? So they have a firm base, a very, very firm base in understanding that if we get them in our locker room, it won't just be the organization itself, but it'll be players with checks and balances on this guy. You know what I'm saying? He won't have the time to go do what he wants to do. He'll get checked from 5 different people before he even gets checked by the organization upstairs. They don't play that in the locker room, man. You know what I'm saying? They're a tight-knit locker room.
Yeah. And
you saw how tight they were. Well, at least Rube knows how tight they were. Just by the questions that were being asked in the
what was up with that?
Well, so all right, let's let people know that who may not know. So Ruben Frank, NBC Sports Philadelphia. We've had Rube on the show. He's a colleague of Barrett's. Derek and I both worked with Rube as well. Rube asked a question last night to Howie and Nick and said basically he did. I am paraphrasing here, okay, to be clear. But one of the things that he said was, he didn't seem all that contrite to me. Again, I'm paraphrasing.
Feeling sorry about or having remorse.
Yeah.
What happened in the accident.
And Howie and Nick objected to the question.
No, they didn't object. They jumped in his ass. Yes, they checked Rube.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They checked him. They were like, "Yo, I mean, come on, this is the most exciting point in this guy's life. This is a big time moment in his life, and you're asking him about that."
Yeah, and there's also limitations to what Jalen Carter can say about the case. Also, just an
exactly.
FYI. Yeah,
exactly. But still, though. Rube is a hard-hitting type of guy. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't pull any punches.
Sure.
He was kind of bullish in his line of questioning, when he asked him about it.
Yeah.
And he did not. I give it to Rube.
He didn't back down.
He didn't back down whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's the thing. Like this is going to continue. Like in other words, Jalen's going to be asked about this. More. This is not over.
No,
he's going to be, especially in a media like this, in a media market like Philadelphia. That maybe you get away with something like this somewhere else where it's not going to be a big deal. There's going to be a big deal. It's going to be asked quite a bit. So just for whatever it's worth, that is not the end of it. So, all right. And I'm not going to walk through every scenario that happened to get us to 30, but as if Jalen Carter wasn't enough, you're watching the board unfold here in the rest of the first round. And we're in like the late teens into the 20s. And we're kind of looking at each other like, Nolan Smith's still there.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're like giggling on the set, laughing the way this draft. Are you kidding me?
And I heard another Smith went off the board to Dallas. Like, oh man,
the D tackle.
Yeah, that was crazy. So you thought I thought they were grabbing Michael Mayer, the kid out of Notre Dame, the tight end.
And they need a tight end in the worst
They do badly. And Mayer is one of the guys which we'll talk about later who I can't believe fell to the second round. Someone's getting a steal there, by the way. But so Dallas grabs the kid Mazzie Smith from Michigan. And
who's a horse now?
He's a load. That dude is a load.
But we're all like, oh my God, like this could really happen. They could come away from this thing with Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. And they didn't even have to make a move to get him. He fell there at 30. And here's what you're getting with Smith. Think body type a little bit like Hassan Reddick. Although, he's not a tiny guy. Like, we make it sound like he's Bryce Young. He's 6'2", 238. But here's the crazy thing. He runs a 4.39 40. He's got an unbelievable vertical. In this year, he was on pace to put up some massive numbers. He had a pec injury, which shut him down after 8 games. But last 2 seasons, 6.5 sacks. Like, they project him a lot like they do Hassan Reddick. He is an edge guy with unbelievable bend and sick athleticism. And Barrett, correct me if I'm wrong, what I kept reading over and over again in scouting reports is, despite the size, holds his own and then some at point of attack and against the run.
Exactly. And I would not have been mad if they'd have picked him up at number 10, at pick 10.
Mm-hmm.
He's well worth what okay, people need to understand. My grade on him was a high first rounder. In fact, if he would have been healthy, he would have been a top 5 pick. That's how good this kid is.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted him at even top because I know he's gonna do work. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be a part of the rotation. Come September. He will be lining up and playing on Sunday. This kid is good. And everybody, oh, he's too small and everything. All right, then. They have a precedence for the situation. They have a precedent on a player that's already on the team. They saw 18.5 sacks from a guy that's smaller than even he is. I mean, let that marinate with you. Hassan Reddick is smaller.
Yeah.
Than Nolan Smith.
Crazy.
So you gonna say he's too small?
I tell you what, the Eagles linebacking core is a lot younger now with Nolan Smith and Nakobe Dean in it, but it's a lot more athletic and it's a lot faster. Now they're going to go through growing pains. They're going to make mistakes. But the one thing that these young kids will do that the previous group could not do well, and that includes TJ Edwards, who I loved, and you know, guys know I watched him exclusively at Wisconsin. TJ could not cover in pass coverage. These 2 young dudes can get back and run with anybody with the speed they have now at linebacker. So they're going to be young. They're going to be somewhat raw, but they're going to be a lot more athletic. You know, it said if you're making mistakes because you're trying, teams can live with that. If you're making mistakes just because you don't have the athleticism, that's where teams have a problem. Eagles got a lot more athletic at linebacker.
Yeah.
Athletic at linebacker. I mean, the defensive side of the ball is just about one of the most athletic defenses in the league right now as far as speed. Nakobe Dean, Morrow, both guys can run like deers. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They might be on the smaller side, but they want smaller guys there to run with them. It doesn't help them in a run, but they're not asked to be those guys in the run. The guys up front take care of the run. You take care of the run on your way to the passer. Mm-hmm. That's what they teach their defensive line. Tracy Rocker, that's what tackle the run on the way to the quarterback. And that's their philosophy. Mm-hmm. Tackle the run on the way to the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So, bruh, talking about speed. They're going to and this is where the iron sharpens iron, because you look at a guy like Sweat. Now Sweat's pissed, like, oh, okay, then. You know, you guys gonna bring somebody in. Okay, then you want another Hassan Reddick. I'm about to show you. Sweat, I'm here. I'm here, baby. I'm gonna get mine. And they're gonna be fighting for reps, man. And that's how you breed a great competitive nature in that meeting room. Oh, I gotta outdo that. I gotta get 2 sacks. Hey, Hassan just got 2 sacks. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Fletch, like, I ain't gonna let this rookie outdo me. I gotta go get me a sack because this rookie just got a sack. That's how competitive nature start flowing and juices start flowing in that meeting room. You know, one guy's trying to outdo another guy. And that's how you get better as a team, when you bring in guys to compete against the guys that are already there.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Jordan Davis, you know, now that he's got his teammate with him and also his teammate pushing him, how that, you know, works for him. And because this is a big season for him, he needs to step his game up in a big way. With
the deletion of Javon Hargrave and him getting more of his Georgia teammates in there, there is no reason that Jordan Davis should not be motivated 100% more than what he was. And I'm not saying he wasn't motivated last year, but 100% more, because he's got all these dogs with him now back on this defensive side of the ball. Yeah. Exactly. This dude should be running through a brick wall. We should see a Pro Bowl version of Jordan Davis this year.
Well said. All right, coming back, we have Seth Joyner joining us, so don't go anywhere. We keep it rolling. with Seth. That's Derek. That's Barrett. I'm Rob. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Time for me to tell you about the great folks at Bravo Pizza of Havertown. Yes, they are a new sponsor to the channel. They are a new sponsor to the show, Sports Take. And I literally been going there since I was a kid. They are family owned since 1985. Alex and his great crew. They're open 7 days a week. Here's the great thing. All the food is fresh, made fresh daily, not sitting under some heat lamp. Bravo Pizza offers 20 different styles of pizza. They have slices to go. I love the upside down. I'll be getting some tonight. That's my go-to. But they have what they call, you name it, they will make it. That's right, specialized pizza your way. They don't just have pizza. They got fresh pasta, sandwiches, wraps, wings, salads. Bravo Pizza of Havertown is fully committed to the community. I'll give you a little bit more on that in a second. But they have fundraisers, charities, schools, little leagues, where the proceeds go to those organizations. And in fact, Bravo Pizza of Havertown, coming up on May 8th, a week from Monday and Tuesday, May 9th, from 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., Bravo gives back to Eagles Autism. Yes, the proceeds from sales will be given to the Eagles Autism Foundation with a special appearance by the man himself, Swoop. Yes, that's May 8th, 5:30 to 6:30. Swoop will be there. But May 8th and 9th, 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. The address is 1345 Westchester Pike in Havertown, in the Manoa Shopping Center. That is Bravo Pizza of Havertown. You can also give them a call, 610-446-3810, 610-446-3810. Look, you've heard me talk about them. Let me give you a little taste of what Bravo Pizza is all about.